You guys are out protesting pro-slavery. What do you mean you guys? You mean No King's Day? We believe that Americans deserve to be paid a livable wage. Who is we? Who is we, anonymous account with a fake profile pic, Riley Scott? We believe that Americans deserve to be paid a livable wage, not for cheap labor. I completely agree with that. That is also my position. You guys want cheap, undocumented workers to fuel your product consumerism. I really think this might be a bot comment, actually, now that I'm reading through it. Nobody talks like that. No, we don't. In fact, one of the things I have talked about consistently, Riley Scott, likely bot account, is that I hope that at the end of all of this, when we get accountability for the cruelty, the terrible, illegal things that ICE is doing to our migrant neighbors, that we have a real serious conversation in this country about the ways that America has, for a very, very long time, exploited our migrant population. I have said for a very, very, very long time, as somebody who has, long before this current regime has come to power, been an advocate for sustainable food systems and food justice, that our migrant workers, the folks who plant, grow, harvest, and process our food, are absolutely abused by the system, are absolutely taken advantage of. Every American who is purchasing food in this country is in some way just factually participating in the exploitation of migrant labor. And for years and years, I have been an advocate of fair wages and safe working conditions for our agricultural laborers, and I would apply that to any migrant labor here in the U.S. I don't think anybody who is marching in No King's Day is in favor of exploiting undocumented workers. I think the reason that people are showing up in such large numbers, and part of the reason that No King's Day had a far greater turnout than we anticipated, is specifically because people are so horrified at the cruelty of ICE. It is absolutely drawing attention to the fact that it's not about rounding up illegals and gang members and violent thugs and criminals. That these are our neighbors, these are folks in our communities, these are decent, hardworking people who want to go about their lives, work their jobs, they pay their taxes, they want to raise their children in peace, and that they have been terrorized by this regime, and also that they have been exploited by our entire economic system and the big businesses that they work for, big agribusiness. And that the mistreatment of migrants in the United States is something that goes back generations. And maybe now on the other end of this, we have a chance for accountability for all of that harm that has been done and a reformation of that system so that our workers are paid a fair wage. Not only that we have justice and accountability for what ICE is doing, and that we look more broadly at the ways we have mistreated our undocumented immigrants for a long time, and that we work to right those wrongs. What we are going through now is terrible. It's an injustice. It's an ethnic cleansing being conducted by the Trump regime. And I think we should not be content with only stopping the harm that ICE is doing. We need to look at what we have created in the United States in terms of systems that allow our immigrant laborers to be exploited. We allow big agribusiness and other corporations to absolutely treat workers like slave labor and then face no consequences, right? Because who's getting harmed right now? It's the migrants themselves. It's not the big businesses. It's not the big businesses who are being held accountable. It's not the people who hire undocumented workers and subject them to unsafe working conditions and pay them exploitive wages. But we have a chance at the end of this to hold those corporations accountable, to reform the way that we do things. Maybe we should have reparations for our migrant workers. I'm open to that conversation. But we absolutely need systemic reform so that those folks are safe living and working in the U.S. They have safe working conditions and fair pay.